Hey guys, Cody here. I want to talk about the 5 things to expect when hiring a virtual assistant for your business. The reason I want to give you these 5 things is because a lot of business owners that have never hired a virtual assistant, let alone any employee for their business, don't really know what to expect. And so I want you to go into this with the right mindset and the right understanding of what this is going to look like so that you can have success when you go about doing this. Number 1, you get what you give. So what do I mean by that? That is, if you just hire a virtual assistant and you don't train them anything, you just get them started and you're like, all right, just, start doing stuff and figure it out and, make it happen. When you're getting your virtual assistant set up, be expecting, especially that first month, to be having daily huddles where you're, having conversations about what you need them to do, doing check-ins from the day before, and then having, a little bit longer weekly meeting where you can go over, the week in review. You could put together some ideas and some action plans that you want to have them help you with over that next week. Because the more you do that, the better they're going to understand what you're looking for, what you need done, and so that they can do a good job at that. But if you just set them out there and you're like, figure it out, then you're going to have a really hard time getting them to do what you need them to do in your business because they don't understand what they fully need to do to make you happy. So that's number 1, is you get what you give. Okay, so number 2 is it's going to take time, so be patient. So you have to think back to whenever you've started something for the first time, working for somebody for the first time, starting in a new industry, starting a new job, starting a sport, starting learning anything new for the first time. You usually don't pick it up, and be a rock star day one. So what you have to understand is, it's going to typically take what we see in our business is, 2 to 4 weeks before they kind of get into a flow and understanding what they need to do for you on a day-to-day, weekly, and a monthly basis to be successful and for you to be happy with the results. So number 2, again, is be patient. It'll take some time, but it'll work. Number 3 is no one cares about your business as much as you do. So I just have to say it because what you have to understand is when you're hiring virtual assistants or you're hiring different people, whether it's salespeople for your business, typically they don't wake up in the middle of the night thinking about what they can do better all the time for your business, because your business is your baby. And the goal of hiring team members is if they could at least do 60 to 70% as good of a job as you could do doing that same task, that's a win. And the reason it's a win is because you could hire 2 people. Say you hired 2 virtual assistants that were both doing 60 to 70% as good as you would do in that role, but you hire those 2 virtual assistants, now you have 120 to 140% of the results that you would have been getting of giving 100% of your effort. So that's what it's about when you're hiring and building teams, is being okay that, hey, look, you want them to care, but they're never going to care as much as you, because you're the owner of the business. It's your baby, it's your child, right, that you're taking care of. So it's just something to keep in mind, and that's what, just kind of a good expectation to kind of, keep in mind. Number 4 is hire slow, fire fast. And what do I mean by that? Meaning that when you're doing the hiring process, don't just have a quick 20-minute conversation. All right, you're hired. When you start that process with the virtual assistant, have the initial call where you're able to kind of feel them out, see if they're going to be a good fit culture-wise, see if you vibe with them, they're going to be a good fit to work with you on a day-to-day basis and be communicating with them. Have them send you their resume, have them maybe if you're having them call for you, listen to some call recordings. You want to do your due diligence on that hiring process so that you don't just hire someone and then you're upset when they don't work out in a week because you didn't do your due diligence. So hire a little bit slower. But then once you're about a month in working with, this virtual assistant or this team that you bring on board, if they're not doing a good job and you're having issues with them, what you have to be looking at is, okay, they're just not a good fit. So in about a month, if you're just continuously having the same conversations and they're not progressing and getting better, at that point is when you have to cut the tie. Maybe they need to be doing another job that's going to be a better fit for them, and it's just, this isn't the one. So, and that's okay. And that's something that you have that conversation when they start. Hey, maybe in 30 days this is going to work out and we're going to work together for a long time, or it won't. And either way is okay, but let's do our best together. So if you just set that agreement up front and just have this as one of those expectations, you're not going to be upset if something does happen like that. All right, guys, number 5 is document, document, document. So what do I mean by that? Is when you're doing trainings with your virtual assistant, record those trainings. When you're teaching them how to do a new task, record that. whenever you're putting something together and through your standard operating procedures, you need to document that, because if that virtual assistant doesn't work out in 30 days, at least you have a backlog of some trainings that when you hire the next one, they can go through that instead of you starting from ground zero. That's a big mistake that I see a lot of people make, is not documenting their processes, so they have to start from nothing every time they hire somebody new. That's not even a recommendation, that's like a prescription that you need to make sure you're documenting what you're doing so you don't have the frustration of starting from ground zero every time you hire somebody. So those are my 5 tips. Let me know in the comment section below if you have other questions about getting started with virtual assistants. We hire all of our virtual assistants from startvirtual.com, and so if you were looking for a virtual assistant, you could jump over to that website, check them out, see if that's going to be a good fit for you. And if you have any questions around virtual assistants, make sure to put those in the comment section below. Happy to answer those questions that you might have in regards to that. And as always, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll see you in the next video.